Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the RR3 podcast. It's the first episode, and I am your host, Jack, and I will be joined by my co-hosts, Jan
Hello.
and Gab.
Hello.
And I guess we'll be talking about ourselves for the first episode. We don't have much to talk about, but
That's not true.
we'll try. And
We have loads
we'll
to
try
talk
and
about.
keep
We
up.
have loads to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have from space to I don't know.
We're obviously not on
Touches.
the same page here.
Yeah, maybe not. It's starting really comfy. So let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah. All right.
I'm Italian,
Uh-huh.
and that's pretty much it.
Being Italian is his main personality trait.
Seriously, I cannot find. Oh, okay. No, nothing. What could I say? I'm Italian. I'm 1 meter 75. If that helps you to have a picture of me. So, picture a stereotypical Italian person that eats pasta and pizza every day.
I'm just imagining a person just like engulfing themselves with pasta and pizza right now.
Nice.
You know.
That's a weird image.
Exactly that. That is really weird.
That's the clearest image I have.
Okay, so apparently eating pizza is a personality trait. Didn't know that one.
Yes.
Look, you start. You go on.
No,
What
I'll
about
let
you?
Jack introduce himself first
Oh,
because
yes,
I'm polite.
well, I am the greatest man on earth, obviously. You know me as Jack, but you can call me King.
Yeah, right.
My interests, I guess, will go from art to general creation and rugby as a sport.
just rugby in the middle there.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah,
Yeah,
just
just-
like between art and I don't know, sculptor, I do rugby.
Yes,
Yes.
I do rugby. Okay,
Well,
go
and
ahead,
Jack
then.
thinks
Yeah.
that vaping is a personality trait as well.
It is Oh, yes.
What about you, Jan? Come on.
Alright, so
I'm curious.
I'm Jan. You may refer to me as Adolf. Yeah. I will say pretty much anything for a joke to try and get laughs, because
He's desperate. Now, being desperate is a personality trait.
I like
trait,
I like
apparently.
trying to be
I
funny.
think it is. Yeah, I think it is, Gab.
My jokes don't
You
always
said that
work.
sarcastically, but it is.
Yeah. I don't know. My jokes don't always work out, but
Full flat.
yeah, they
Yeah.
tend to do that a solid 75% of the time.
That's
Uh-huh.
quite funny. That's actually
Yeah,
no, what happened?
About 76.2% of the time. Yeah,
Oh, to be
somewhere around
accurate.
this.
Yeah.
To be accurate.
To be accurate, we should probably measure that, just over the course of a month. Just count how many jokes I make, and then just count how many
just
succeeds.
count the jokes in this podcast and how much people have laughed about it.
Okay,
We'll
write
see.
that in the comments,
We'll
guys.
see. Anyway, since you guys said what you enjoy, I guess I have to do the same. What do I enjoy? Video games. That's a big one. I love
Oh.
movies as well. Love talking about those. Especially, I'm really interested in kind of talking about visual effects and just the behind the scenes part of
Like
movies.
filming.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like how they made that. I find that
I think
really
the
fascinating.
special
Are you-
effects,
Are
like-
you a pro film reviewer?
No, just I'm very critical of movies. Like, I don't know. I like to state my
Uh,
opinion on them.
Give your opinion
okay.
about. Gab, give me a movie.
The Dictator.
Ooh, good one.
That's okay. That's the one of Aladdin.
That's
That's
unfair,
it's
that's
really funny.
Aladdin or Aladdin?
It's really
Aladdin.
funny. I mean,
What?
it's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows what it's trying to achieve, and I mean, it's kind of this. I don't know. I think it's hilarious, and it's not trying to be anything more.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a character arc, but it's all played for
Really?
comedy.
I didn't
Yeah.
like the character arc.
Well, no, because it's funny
We just
because
watched more Aladdin.
spoiler alert, at the end
Oh,
he
wait,
goes
yeah.
back to what he was before.
Yeah, wait,
And
yeah.
that's the funny
Actually, wait,
part.
No, I did like it.
Yeah,
I
what
did
is
like
that?
it.
The whole
Wait. I changed my mind. I did like
The whole
it.
point is that the movie just
It's
kind of
useless.
goes full circle. He starts and ends in the same spot. Just, I mean, slightly different in the public's eye.
With another wife.
Yeah, except she's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You just spoiled the film.
No, I said
Jan.
spoiler
God
alert.
damn
I
it!
said spoiler alert. Um,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but no, that movie, I don't know. I've only seen it a couple times.
Okay,
yeah.
let's propose a serious movie, like because
Okay,
come on,
one of my
a
favorite
dictator-
movies to my favorite movies to talk about are a lot of the ones made by Christopher Nolan. He's yeah. I love
Like
talking
what?
about
What's your favorite
Interstellar.
one?
Interstellar by
Oh,
far,
good
just
one.
because I love
Oh, yeah.
space. I think it's really interesting, especially the science fiction aspect, but it's also so grounded in reality that it's like something that you could
Yeah, that's what I
imagine.
mean.
Like
Do you also
But I
have
mean,
Do you also have a bookshelf that talks to you?
that's different though. No, but what I mean, it's like they talk about the wastefulness of the 20th and the 21st centuries. Um, they talk. It's like
very interesting topics.
exactly. It's a nice kind of idea to
But,
explore, if that makes any
yeah,
sense. And then what always amazes me whenever I watch it is they didn't use a single green screen, and everything was done
really,
practically and with miniatures and projectors.
really.
Yeah, it's
No, I do not
really
believe
fascinating. Like
Yeah,
like
apparently it was.
spoiler alert once again.
You're spoiling over films, Jan. This
Mate,
is not
I'm
good
sorry,
of you.
it's been out for freaking 6 years. If you haven't seen it,
Yeah,
you
okay.
don't care about spoilers. But towards
Oh.
the end, there's the either you love it or you hate it. He's inside the black hole. He's inside the Tesseract, and he's seeing time as a physical dimension. You can
I
walk
thought it
through
was a great
time.
movie.
Yeah, but that part, the movie is, in my opinion, it's great until that part when it stops being so sciencey. But what I really love about that part is that that was fully practical. They had
Really?
Matthew McConaughey on a wire, just floating there on a set. They
Oh
built that
my-
set,
No.
and for all
How
the
much time? But why did we do it
and for all the
without green
videos
screen?
of the room, right? They just use projectors to project what the guy is seeing.
But why
So
didn't they use
Hmm?
green screen?
Because Christopher Nolan just doesn't like green screens. He's one of the only
What?
directors who still films on film, right? Which means that he can't
Wow.
look directly back at a shot and be like, "Oh, this is bad. Let's redo
Yeah.
it." I don't know. Like that also means that he can't just have the VFX directly in the shot. Like kind of when they were making Thanos, for example, they kind of had a preview of what the final visual effects would look like. Christopher Nolan, he can't do that, so he's trying to resolve everything practically, which is
Interesting.
it's fascinating. I don't know. I could talk
Yeah, that's
about
pretty sick.
just effects for ages. Just big
Ooh.
fan of stunts,
Well,
wire work.
I've got another
I've
movie.
seen like special effects on Marvel movies, and they're
Yeah.
quite funny when there's no like special effects.
Oh yeah.
Because every emotional aspect of a film just condenses to zero.
Well, the main emotions when you're watching a film, what makes you really feel emotions is the music, though. Like it's got nothing to do with the effects. It's got music. Now,
Yeah, but I mean, you just saw it, like the laughing bit.
yeah, let's not dive
The
into that
funny one.
rabbit hole. Let's not dive into
Mhm.
music in movies. That can be for another time.
What about
Damn.
music in anime?
No, this is a
No.
non-anime
It's usually
podcast. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
Jack?
Gab, what was your favorite anime of last season?
Oh my
Last season, the hell?
God, didn't
Doctor
see it.
Stone. Doctor
Yeah,
Stone.
oh, I've seen that. That seems actually so cool.
It was so cool. I read the manga.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
are
you
there
actually
any
read the-
practical effects in anime? I don't
No,
think
there's
so.
Yes.
quality drawing.
I mean, there's a lot of effort doing every frame.
Oh yeah, no, honestly,
Yeah.
I
Of an
respect the
anime.
people who animate stuff just in general, just because it's such a tedious task.
Very hard
I feel like
workers.
these days, there's ways of cutting back on the work, with just
Yeah,
programs
by
of being
using
able to kind of
computers.
just the program does stuff for you, right?
Well, you know, right? Pixar, 50% of animators on Pixar, not animators, but like employees are computer scientists. Because basically, the founder of Pixar was a computer scientist, and he made like a whole 3D model of like mountains, but he didn't draw, like the computer generated, just like terrain generation in Minecraft. And it
Damn.
was, and people were so shocked that like when he showed it to Steven Spielberg, he literally stood up and he said, "I'm glad to live in this century."
Fair enough. I
Very
mean,
nice.
And
Impressive.
they constantly use computer scientists to cut the job. And I mean, that's a bit scary because if we always like assume that art is the thing that defines us most as humans, if computers already start replacing us, where can they go?
I mean that's kind of
Yeah.
scary though, because what you're implying is that one day AI will be able to just make a movie an animated movie in
Well,
like an
thing
hour.
is, right?
It's pretty
Like
depressing.
they actually made like an AI wrote a script for an advertising
I think I saw that.
Was
It
it
was a
good?
bunch of
of like the
gibberish though.
car.
I think.
Yeah, it was. It was like it made a bit of sense,
Yeah.
but it's still something that an AI made. You see what I mean? It's still something that it made out of nothing. It learned from, and he made something new.
It's quite
Yeah.
impressive.
I don't know. The animations I have the most respect for though are the ones that were like hand drawn. So the old Disney movies,
Oh no,
those,
that's
because they
Ooh.
really
had to draw
difficult.
every single frame.
Yeah.
That is actually really difficult to do.
That's
Must admit.
yeah, like
That's tedious.
Well, anime movies still do that to this day. So.
really?
Do they?
Mm.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't watch anime, so
Have you seen like Your Name or like
Yeah, that's.
oh what's
Oh my god,
what's
that
the one
was
with the
so
deaf girl?
animated. Who?
the
The
deaf
one with the
girl.
deaf girl. Oh, a
Oh,
silent voice.
spirit.
A
What?
silent voice. A
Oh.
silent
Oh,
voice.
deaf.
Yeah,
Honestly
deaf.
though, when do you guys
Yeah.
have time to watch all this stuff? That's what I
When
don't
do you
When
have
get.
did
time
you
to watch
have the time
movies?
to watch movies?
On weekends.
Exactly.
Yeah, well there we go. You just
You got
answered our
your answer.
question.
You just answered yourself, Jan.
But I don't actually even watch movies that much. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but we watch it in the same way.
It's because I don't know. I don't want to be wasting my time when I watch a movie. I won't watch a movie if I know it's bad, which I guess is kind of a bad thing. But I'd rather
I
just
mean,
watch the good movies.
if I think it's interesting, then I'll watch it.
It's like reading a book, right? You don't really know until you read it.
Yeah, but you can look at reviews and get a pretty decent idea. But no,
Yeah.
no, I kind of agree though. It's all based on your own opinion. Um,
Like reviews help you, but they don't really.
yeah. Um, like for example, I hated the new Godzilla movie, but a lot of people really liked it. I thought it was laughably bad. I was not
It
a
was
fan.
funny. It was
I
great.
yeah,
CGI monsters, amazing. It's such good fighting.
I just
Hey,
found it really annoying that there was so much rain. It was almost as if they ran out of budget for the monsters, so they just put a rain filter on so they could cut back on the detail. But I mean,
that's true.
it's still an
Well,
amazing
that's
feat of
well. I mean,
creation.
like
Like,
you when you go to watch Godzilla, you don't watch it for the story and like the details and the like all that stuff. You watch it because it's CGI monsters fighting.
yeah, exactly. That's why I just didn't like the movie to begin with. I would rather have a story based entirely on character
Mm.
than
Yeah,
on just a bunch of monsters fighting, because that's
that's a
what
fair opinion.
monsters do.
Well, it's the same reason why I liked Jurassic Park, for example, or Jurassic World. It's because it's just dinosaurs.
I
Just
mean,
killing.
the Jurassic World, like Jurassic Park saga. I didn't really
I haven't seen
get
the
it.
originals in a while, but I saw
Ooh.
Jurassic World 2 in cinemas. Or not really
But I don't really
cinemas, but
get
it
why.
was it was on a ferry. They've got kind of the cinema room, and yeah,
Oh
I saw
On
yeah.
a
it there.
ferry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was really
Damn.
predictable. I knew what was gonna
Yeah, that's
happen.
true.
Yeah, and it was made like 20 years ago. Of
No,
course
no,
it was
Jurassic
predictable.
World, the new one,
Yeah,
Oh,
the newest
Jurassic
one,
World.
oh.
It was very predictable.
and it's clearly setting up for a bigger movie.
As
If
Yeah.
always.
they get approval for one, which they definitely will,
It was.
just
Yeah.
'cause merch.
I was disappointed that the Mosasaurus in the trailer was only showed as a little clip at the end.
I
That
don't,
was
I
depressing.
don't know I don't know what a mosasaurus is, to be honest with
It's
you.
the giant. It's the giant. It's the giant swimming dinosaur.
Oh, the one from the
Oh,
first
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. What wasn't it?
It was fine.
I can't really remember the first movie. But I swear it was like really. It was like kind of the Force Awakens of the Jurassic series. Like
Yeah.
something that we'd already
Yeah,
seen
that's it.
before, just new characters
Renewed. Yeah,
and
exactly.
just
Yeah.
worse in every way, really. And
Yeah.
once again, going back to visual effects and practical effects, in the original Jurassic Park, there was only 3 VFX shots, and that was of the
Yeah.
T-Rex, and they all look amazing, but they just used it in the right circumstances. For all the other shots, they used animatronics, which
Yeah.
are
I've
arguably
seen
even
that.
more scary. Um,
Well,
I mean, I've
for
seen that
that.
once in the museum, and when I was like a child, I went there and I literally cried. It
Damn.
was laughable. Yeah.
oh, that thing was terrifying.
And oh my god.
That's.
I
What do
didn't
you
want.
mean?
I
I
wanted
love
to leave
those.
immediately, but there was a queue, so I was stuck. So I was just terrified because of this big green T
It
Rex
was great.
staring at me.
I don't know what you're talking
I remember
about.
I went back there
I love
last
that.
year just because I was bored. And the T-Rex isn't actually that big. It's
Yeah.
really quite small.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. Like I
Yeah.
realized just afterwards how small it was.
So either it's just a complete perspective change, or they just got a smaller one because it was too expensive to operate the big one.
I mean, how big can it be? They cannot make a like
Mate.
10-meter tall animatronic. That would cost way too much.
That thing used to be
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yep.
Can I
But I
just
think
They
the
say
must
I think the
admit.
Velociraptors are up to size, like the animatronic Velociraptors
where?
Well,
Where are those?
in the History Museum.
I can't remember those, to be honest.
Really?
well, talking about terrifying things like that we had when we were children.
No, okay,
What
no.
was the most
What I
terrifying thing?
still find terrifying to this day in the Natural History Museum though is all the stuffed animals, because those are real animals, and they're so eerie.
Yep.
And it's just that thing used to be alive, and I'm looking at it, and
Well, yeah. And if you want something comforting, rich people clone their dead pets.
yeah, I know.
Well, how is that not disturbing?
It's not
Yeah.
disturbing whatsoever.
The clone the dead pets.
think-
It's like if someone would
I
clone
mean,
you.
it's like they love the animals
Yeah,
so much.
exactly.
They want it
That's
back
something
again.
that's cute. I would do that if I had the money for it.
No.
Yes.
No, the pet died.
So?
He dead. You get a new person. It's like saying, oh, I don't know. My son died. I'm cloning him.
No, it's completely different.
That's pretty messed up.
It's completely
That's what I
different.
mean.
Plus, cloning
That's how I
of
view it.
humans is illegal.
No way. Not in China though.
It's illegal in China. Just they don't really care. I think
Yeah.
they don't care about
Not
the
really.
backlash, which I guess
I
is
mean-
fine.
What's interesting is all of the human genetics modification that they're doing, and that you can also do it on adults.
Do you
not
call
only on,
that
like, fetuses.
interesting? I think it's
Interesting.
terrifying.
Well, I think cloning like organs, for example, could be really
Oh.
useful.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, but that's completely
sure.
different. We're talking about just genetically modifying a whole human being.
Let's all be honest, okay?
Well,
They
I mean, you
always
can make
use-
a superhuman.
But it's
No.
terrifying.
Why?
I
Why
love
would
a
you say
Captain
that?
America.
No,
No,
because
when I hear the word superhuman, I think of someone who doesn't die.
what? But
I
it's
think of
strong.
someone who's like just a prime example of like the perfect human.
I don't really know what I would call a superhuman, to be honest.
Well, thing is, we all know how it would start. It would start by like they would do it for medical reason to improve all of the like disabled people
Mm,
or with rare conditions. But let's be honest, they're not doing usually they're not doing it for that.
I don't think
Yep,
they
They want
should
just
do
to
Area
it
reach the
though.
51,
boundary.
creating superhumans for battle.
into 5 days, there's the raid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hope.
I think it's creepy that they're modifying humans already. Like in China, not recently, there was the twins where they
Yeah.
made one of them HIV resistant.
Resistant.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
but
I've
how
seen
would
that.
you go about testing that? Do you just give both twins HIV and see what happens?
No, that'd be so
It's a bit
horrible. But
noncy
why
too.
would you do that?
But
Because that kid, for example, now he's a superhuman, technically speaking.
no, not at all.
No,
Yeah. Yeah, he's better than us. At
he's a
least
GMO,
No,
he
genetically
HIV
modified
wise.
organism.
no, because that's something that could have happened naturally. It's just a mutation. I'm assuming. I haven't
Yes,
read up
well,
into
it's a
this
super
topic, but
I'm pretty sure it's a super rare mutation.
oh yeah, obviously, but that doesn't make them superhuman.
Yeah, but
Well,
they
They're-
added. They
It's an
added it.
advantage. It's an advantage.
They like added that like.
How is it an
to the
advantage
person.
though? If
Well, because
no,
it's an
just
advantage
not.
because yeah, we're not gonna get HIV.
So most people don't get it ever. So it's not.
Yes,
It doesn't
no.
affect most people.
What about how do you know in China what are the HIV rates?
I can look them up right
Like,
now. They're probably the same
I'm doing
as
it.
most other places. Like
I mean, they have a really high population, so it could pass on much faster than other countries.
it just depends per capita, really. But no, honestly.
In China.
Plus, there's this ridiculous statistic
yeah.
which is like,
Yeah, you're
people
right.
who have
Less than
HIV.
0.1%.
There's this ridiculous statistic which is like people with HIV actually live longer because they have to go for regular
Yeah, I've
checkups.
seen that.
Like, so therefore
What?
they're in perfect health.
After all,
Is that
nowadays,
true?
like HIV was a real problem in the 80s. Right now, they're doing with all new medicines. A person with HIV lives nearly as long as a person without.
I heard that they live longer on average, just because of the regular
really?
doctor visits. So therefore, everything else is kept much better in check than for random people. Like, when was
Well,
the
that
last
makes
time you went to a
sense.
doctor's appointment?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, like
shit.
4 months ago.
It's been a long time.
Exactly.
But it has to be like a private doctor. It doesn't have to be a GP because usually they're not good.
Mate,
We're not gonna do a proper checkup.
what? A GP's
No,
job
like-
is to do a I don't know. I guess it depends. Whatever.
Yeah.
You get
it
my
always
point. You
depends.
get my point. They're more looked
Yeah, yeah,
after, therefore they live longer.
Yeah. Which is
The good news is
better.
though, apparently the UK is on track to be HIV free by 2030, which is insane.
2030 is in 10 years.
Then
Like,
again-
I mean, what I mean.
Then again, we were measles free until really recently, and there's been a
Exactly.
recent outbreak because of anti-vaxxers. Grr.
Oh my god. The thing of anti-vaxxers, it's a human phenomenon what's happening because they apply as more case generally, and this type of attitude is normal in students, for example.
But how is it a
When-
small case? A vaccine
No,
has never...
because usually anti-vax people have the kids and they probably have an allergic reaction. Like one of the kids has an allergic reaction and then they start protesting because they're like, oh, my kid has autism now because of vaccines.
Yeah.
It's just
Whereas
ignorance. Just plain and simple.
Exactly.
ignorance.
However, they apply
21st century's kids
special-
going out to
No,
get vaccinated.
No, but hear me out. That particular example is applied to the general. And students do it. For example, when you're learning a new formula in math, you don't really remember the whole formula. However, when you learn an example, like a concise example, you should remember that. Or what happened in the example. And you apply it generally, like the new technique everywhere. You see what I mean?
Yes.
that's how it happens. It's a proper human how we work, which is something interesting, but it has its own defects, which you can see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, humans are just weird, man. They're just weird.
This is
not-
what evolution made. Okay.
We are very irrational.
We are, as Exurb1A in YouTube said, it's the survival of the shittest.
Yes.
Damn.
If you're good enough, that's enough. You don't have to be the best.
Yeah, it's the
you
survival
just need to
of
be
the good enough, and it's just dumb. We're all selfish. I guess
I mean,
that's
quite
fine though.
honestly-
That's fine.
Just getting full on depressed mode is like, oh, so
No.
I don't know. I think
Well,
it's fine
good
to be
things of
selfish to an
evolution.
extent. There's different forms of being selfish, but
I mean, sometimes selfishness is
There's
both.
there's being selfish
good.
where you ruin other people's lives at the same time.
there's being a prick, but there's
And
also
being selfish.
prioritizing your happiness,
After all,
which
if you
I
have to be
think is the correct form of selfishness that you should pursue.
Like, it depends. Exactly. Not only own's life, but also the life of the people you care. Because if you have to choose between your life and a stranger's life, depending on the person, but if you're both equally important,
But
some people may choose themselves, and most people, I'm pretty sure most people will choose themselves.
Well, it depends who.
I
who's
don't
the other
think
person
two
as well.
people can be equally important though.
I know,
There's
but
always
like,
tiny differences that make all the difference.
there's always the, like,
theoretically,
really
let's
small-
say that there are, and the other. Well, it also depends who the other person is. If it's
No,
a
no, look. Let's create just a scenario.
if it's a Randy, then I'd choose myself.
No, but like, look, we have a scenario. There's you and someone else, just a random. It can be
Okay.
the average person, and there's a killer before you, and he says, "You or the other person, choose. You choose."
Other person. I choose the other person.
So, no. He says, choose between you or the other person. If you don't choose, you die.
Mhm.
Okay.
But what if you both
So what
choose
would you
each
choose?
other?
No.
Plot
Just
twist.
you.
Oh,
choose.
so only you
Just
get
like
the
you,
okay.
Jan, or like Jacques. You choose. The other person cannot choose.
Oh, if it's Jan, then I'm choosing someone else.
But no,
I'm choosing myself.
but clearly though, you're already superior because you're already being asked the question. They're not worth the killer's time.
No, because he randomly picked you up between the two. You were, I don't know, the one closest to him.
He's
Just
crazy.
picked you randomly.
He's crazy. He wants to kill one of you, and then he's forcing you to choose.
Exactly. So if you don't choose,
But
it's not your
how
fault
long
that
would you
died.
have to choose?
10 seconds. Come on,
Oh,
starting from now.
so you would have no way of learning anything about said person.
No.
Do you at least get to
just
look
need to
at
choose-
said person?
Yeah, you just have a look at the person.
You see them and just based on prejudice,
Yeah,
boom.
which is what we do
I'd-
usually.
That's
I choose the
intense.
other person.
That's intense.
Okay. Jacques chose the other person. What about you, Jan?
Well, actually,
I've
it depends
got
also.
no
If it's a baby, then I'm choosing the.
No. It's an average person. So I don't know,
Okay.
28-year-old earning 30k a year.
Okay, I choose the other person.
I would choose myself, to be honest.
Nope.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie.
Now,
I'm being truthful here. I
Because-
choose the other person
But why? Why would you
Because-
choose the other person, Jack?
no. Okay.
because I want to live, man.
No.
wanna live.
But what I mean is that by choosing myself, I would choose myself to survive.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
choose myself
okay.
to survive.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
okay,
Now,
okay,
now
okay.
this was like a generic case between like a random person. Now, what if it's you and a person who has not hopes, but like has a big project, and this person should, he wants to become big. He
I still
just
choose.
Well,
I choose-
There, it would
Actually,
be
and
impossible
he's doing
to figure that one out
great
in
right
10
now.
seconds.
no. He just told you.
He just told you
He just told
what his
you.
project
So
is.
what?
It
So
entirely
like,
depends
he's on
on
his
said
knees
project.
and he's like, so he's on his knees. He's like, I got so much to live for. I've got this massive thing.
I have like my family. I have. I'm
Everyone's got
doing
a
this
family.
project that will like help millions. of
Hey,
humans.
shut up! I've got projects in my life.
Well, I
See
guess
ya.
it depends on what said project is, how
I don't
how
know.
realistic
The
it is.
cure of a certain cancer. Let's say that.
Bro,
Classic.
no, that's messed up. You can't say that.
I would
Because-
still choose to. Ah,
Nah,
That's
a
nah,
sticky
because
one.
You see, that's
no,
the problem.
no.
Thing is,
Okay, wait, no.
is that we're designed...
Loads of like projects to like save cancer haven't worked. I doubt that hits
Exactly.
all as well.
yeah, exactly. What makes him so special? Chances are he's gonna
I don't
fail.
know. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I
chances
might
are
still
he can
choose
win.
myself.
Exactly.
I'd
So
still.
there's
I'd have
nothing
myself
wrong
survive.
because, quite frankly, which is for ourselves, but the real dilemma comes when you have to choose between you and a person you care. I'm
I'd
not gonna
choose-
put you through that.
The
choice
thing
because
is,
that's
the thing
mean.
is, right
No,
now
obviously,
we're being
I
very
obviously choose
theoretical.
myself to die.
Yeah, we're not under the stress of a situation.
Yeah, right now we're being
Yeah,
very
fair
theoretical. If we were in that situation, we would probably make. We wouldn't decide, and we would both die.
Yeah.
That's honestly what would happen.
Yeah.
Because these moral dilemmas just don't work in real life. Or no, sorry, they work too well.
Ethical.
They work too well.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
thing
mean-
is, we're just it's conflicting
Well-
arguments, and we're just seeing which one wins. Like, I don't know, one side of
Oh,
the brain
yeah.
versus the other. This is a result of evolution. These contradictions, because if
Wait.
we were designed like perfectly, like we were made perfectly. Now, I'm not bashing on religion, but I'm just saying, if we were designed perfectly from the first day, we would know what to do.
Well, we're not perfect. Are
the
we?
whole point is we're not meant to be perfect.
Exactly.
Or, well, it depends what you define perfect as, really. Because deep down, I
perfect
think
would be-
everyone's perfect in their own way.
Exactly. There's thing
Everyone's
is,
made the way they
is-
should be made.
There's a word saying,
Not really.
if everyone is special, then everyone is normal. Then special becomes normal.
Yeah.
So if we'd say
Well, I
that,
mean,
like,
the concept of special doesn't even work in that case. Then
exactly, that's my point. And what I mean from this is that,
I don't
Sure.
think any of us. I don't think any of us are necessarily special.
That's true.
Maybe
Well,
like Elon. Maybe
thing
Elon
is
Musk is
that
because
in
he's
a-
an alien. But
in our society, we give too many prizes for too small achievements, which sometimes it's good, but sometimes it doesn't help.
But I think that it does help, though, because
I don't think it
we
does.
work
It's like,
strictly
it's-
based on motivation, and that's clearly a fuel of motivation.
Yeah, but
Yes,
in a
but another field of-
in a competing sense, when you have two teams and one side wins, and then in the end it's like, oh no, we're all winners.
Oh, that
That's
just
really-
sucks.
That doesn't help. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't help. Like, you have to be pushed to be better.
Life
have to
is
push
about
yourself.
competition anyway. So
It is, because we're 7 billion on this planet. We have a head start on the
Yeah,
others.
no, but it's
We
always
cannot
been
really
like that.
fail.
It's always been a competition.
Yeah.
We're fighting over real estate. There's not much of it left.
it's free real estate.
What?
Well, no,
Um,
because you'd probably have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
It's not really that free, is it?
Good memes.
But,
Yeah.
well, to be frank, we're not in that moment yet.
To be honest-
because we have the whole of Africa to
Yeah.
really populate, like proper
mate,
populate.
mate, there's a lot of Sahara Desert. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Is all I'm gonna say. Good luck.
It's not that big. The Sahara Desert. How big is the Sahara Desert? Come on.
Big,
Big.
That's how big.
Let's
It's
see.
big.
Okay, Google. How big is
Oh
the
my
Sahara
god, you're
Desert?
so lazy.
Sorry, I can't be bothered to type.
Just did. Oh wow, yeah, it's
oh
quite
my
big.
god, copyright.
9.2 million square kilometers.
Okay, you got a point. You got a point. I'm just seeing the map. Yeah, it's quite big.
It's
Oh,
massive.
Okay.
However, it's the rest of
Can I
Africa.
just say that that's a quarter of the moon's surface area? Can I just say that?
Oh yeah, there's all of it in United States can fit in there. And
Although
more.
the moon has a smaller surface area than all of Asia. That's pretty impressive.
But what I mean is that yes, there's the Sahara Desert. But first we can find solutions. We're humans.
We have
we're
found
smart.
solutions already. Just
We
they're really
can.
expensive.
Yeah,
or
but we can
slow.
work on that. For example, like if we invested a quarter of a budget of like petrol budget of yearly petrol budget in renewable sources, we would have, like, this is a statistic, we would have cheap renewable resources forever.
Oh yeah, it's just we're money driven, and there's not much
Exactly.
we can do.
Yes.
Right now there's
Money
no
is
real
based
need
on what we
just yet.
think of it.
Well, the thing is that since we are coming as a generation, like millennials and Generation Z is coming in power, we have been, since children, we have been always like told that environment is
Oh, we've been
good and
brainwashed
you
to
have
be
to do.
green, and it's a
So,
nightmare.
I mean, I think it's gonna be inevitable that like green energy is gonna take over the planet. But the question is, when is that gonna happen? Too late or not? Because
No.
we shouldn't go, like, quite frankly, if we go over 1.5 degrees, which is 2030, well, we're fucked. Can I be honest?
I don't know. I have confidence that we'll be able to reverse it in one
I'm
way
pretty
or
sure,
another.
like, the plastic.
Yeah,
Have you heard
well,
of a plastic continent in the Pacific?
Yeah.
Where it has actually shrunk?
we'll figure it out eventually.
Honestly,
It's actually
I
shrunk.
have confidence that we
So,
will figure it out, and
I
everything
have
will
faith
be
in
okay.
humanity, but we're a bit too pessimistic.
No,
I'm not
I would
saying
rather
everything
we
is
be
good.
pessimistic about stuff like this than optimistic.
Yeah, no, but we should have a bit more faith in humanity.
Why?
Because if we do not, we're all dead. That's why.
I have faith in most of humanity. In
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
okay, no, that's
but
a lie.
humanity
Not
in
most
charge.
of it.
That's what I mean.
I have I have my faith in the people who are 30 and under.
30 and under.
I'd
Okay.
say.
Yeah,
Why?
so-
Well, no, there's
It always
obviously
depends.
exceptions, but I
Well,
don't know. I think
well, now you're
everything will
saying
be
now you're
okay.
saying it in front of me, right? But because when we're faced on a situation of real life, as you were saying earlier, we're always, which is the most like what instincts tell us.
Mhm.
So trusting someone, theoretically, it's easy to trust someone, but in practice, it is not. For example,
Yeah.
if you're in a train station and you see someone who's like, someone who's unwell, there's not many people in the train station. There's like 6 of you in the whole tube, like in the whole like cabin, and someone feels unwell, and you notice it, and another person notices it, 2 out of the 6, and the other person does nothing. Usually, 90% of the time, real statistic again, you will do nothing. Even if you're a
Yes.
good person,
That's true.
you will not move. Just because
Really?
you share responsibility with the other. Yeah.
That's true. I've seen this kid in the middle of drowning, and I wasn't sure if he was just making weird noises or if he was actually drowning.
You see-
Until their parents were like, "Oh my god, get out of there!"
Like, what I mean is that when we're faced with a group, we share our responsibility with others, and we feel that we should be entitled, but the person in front of you thinks the same thing. It's like a vicious cycle.
I don't
That's
know.
the problem with
I would have to
theoretical-
disagree with your statistic, to be honest, because I
Fam,
think that
thing is,
I
that,
would
like,
help that person.
just
Well-
as most, like, one person, what
How
was
un-
it?
well,
4%
it
out of
also depends
24.
how unwell.
Yeah, exactly. It
they
really
look.
depends how unwell they are.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what happened is that there was like this experiment with a person who said, "Oh, I'm having a seizure," and then starts coughing, not coughing, but like
what?
you hear noises
That's
just
not.
afterwards.
I don't think that's how seizures work. You don't just
No,
know in advance
Like,
that you are
I'm
having
having
one.
a seizure.
No. It's an
Just
experiment.
imagine someone comes up to you. I'm having a seizure.
No,
And
no,
then
no.
proceeds
Like,
to
it was
collapse
an
and
actor.
spaz out.
It was a, like, he was an actor, and basically they had all a call like we're having right now, and in theory nobody knew each other. It was like a mega interview or something. I don't remember exactly. And one person says, "When I'm nervous, I have seizures." And like afterwards into the interview, he says, "Oh, I think I'm having a seizure right now. Help."
You mean
Only 4 people out of 24 tested helped at that moment, and 5 others helped when the person started falling on the floor, because like you can actually hear it, like falling through the chair. Like the actor wouldn't literally fall on the floor, but he'd make noises so that it seems like. You see?
All right, yeah.
But the other people did nothing. They didn't move. They just waited there, just stared.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
just because most people don't know what to do. They wouldn't know how to help.
Yeah.
And
Well,
honestly,
wouldn't you?
I feel like
Well, I
if
think it
there's
depends if they actually look like they're having a problem, or like if you're not sure if they are, then it's like I'm just gonna
Yes,
stay
but
away. And
if
maybe they.
someone is saying you, "Oh, when I'm nervous, I have seizures," and proceeds to have a seizure, you know he has a seizure.
Oh well, if it's a friend that tells me that, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, there's a problem here.
No, a perfect stranger. We're talking about strangers. We're not talking about like people.
Well, why would they tell
Well,
me
you
they
know.
get seizures if they're a stranger?
Because he was in the interview, like he would like warn you before, so that if he has a seizure,
I think that's a bit of a flawed experiment.
look, it was a professional experiment. I think.
Yeah, but how
Done
many
by
people did
who?
it? How many people
There was
did it?
24, he said. 24, which isn't a lot.
I'm taking the book.
Did
Okay.
none of the 24 do anything?
Only 4 of them
Made
did.
by. Made. Give me a sec. I'm looking through the book.
Okay.
The book is called Thinking Fast and Slow. It won a Nobel Prize.
Wow,
Wow.
a whole Nobel Prize.
Yes, like the research. Come on, you cannot not be.
I mean, this goes back to people give too many prizes for too many small things.
Yeah.
It's not a small thing.
Uh,
This guy,
mate.
literally, it's a genius book. You should read it.
No, I'm good.
I
It's
can't read books.
I'm
good.
I don't have the attention span.
I dropped English.
And
I don't know how to read
Okay.
anymore.
rip.
I have just lost complete ability to understand letters and words.
Yeah. Basically.
Like, what does this bottle? What's even written on this bottle? Pear green? No. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds
Yep,
about right.
that's it. That sounds about. I love
I
that.
can read numbers though. Quite good at those. Alright, Gab, have you found your freaking experiment
found
in your
it.
book?
No.
I think this guy forgot how to read as well.
Yeah.
Shut up. No. Oh, perfect. I found it.
Wow.
About time you did.
Nice.
He also dropped English.
Made by.
You can tell.
Richard Nisbet and his student Eugene Borgida.
Am I supposed to know
at
those
the
guys?
University of Michigan.
Am I supposed to know those guys?
Isn't Michigan like a terrible state?
I don't fucking
No, the university is quite famous, I think.
Yeah.
The guy literally said in the seizure, could someone help me choking sounds? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I don't think that's
seizure
how it
and chokes
works.
and dies.
That's terrible acting.
That's
I
that's
don't
not
know.
how seizures
No.
work.
I literally read from the book. I cannot really say it.
Mate, that is clearly very flawed if the guy doesn't know what a seizure looks like.
I don't think a guy doing seizures should be an interviewer.
I think it would be more
Look.
intense if they got an actual guy.
27% of
actually
the
got
probability
actual
that you'd actually
seizures.
help.
That'd be pretty messed up.
Yeah, but it would be funny.
What?
Have you guys seen? I don't remember who did the experiment. I think it was like Vsauce or something, where it's like a train.
That
about
yeah,
to
that was
hit
Vsauce.
Really?
Yeah,
four
for his
people.
YouTube channel.
What was it?
Oh, that was so tense, bro.
It was like basically it's
It's for
they
the greater
recorded
good
train.
dilemma. Where there's
Yeah.
you either kill one person or 3 people that are
Three,
attached to
yeah.
the rails.
Yeah.
Like one person deliberately or 3 people, but you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
And
course to
how
kill
did you
3
do
people,
it?
but you could just move it to 1.
I'm not sure. I feel like I would push it to 1, but
What
I don't
what
really
they
know
did-
what I would do under the situation.
Gab, what they did is they just filmed a bunch of videos and then just built an elaborate set which looked like they were controlling it. They got actors in and they were like, "Oh, can you I'm going for like a toilet break. Can you please supervise everything?"
Oh yeah, that's actually a classic.
Oh, it's
Experiment.
a classic, but anyone would
No,
say,
because
"Oh, I'd
it's like-
obviously kill the 1 stranger instead of the 3 strangers."
No, that's actually a hard decision on this.
But they tested like I think it was like 6 people and only 1 of them
Yeah.
went for the 1 guy. But
But they were quite
also,
different. They were quite different results. Some people went like calling for help like multiple times and didn't do anything.
but
Some people just stayed in the room, just panicking.
I think that the main problem with that experiment though was that they chose people based on like past mental health issues. I think like
Why? What did they have?
those
Like,
Well,
people
no,
had
they
all
were
had
they were
like either traumatic experiences or some kind of
what?
negative
no
That's not
experience in the
fair.
past. I
quite
think.
the
Really?
opposite. They did people that they made sure that they didn't have that.
Oh,
That's
really?
Oh,
what
okay.
That's not how I
that's what it was
understood
for.
it.
That's
Oh,
how I
okay.
understood
No,
it.
that makes sense.
I
Why
don't
would
know.
you take someone who's already
Yeah,
shocked?
for
You already
safety.
know the reaction.
They went like
You're gonna
for the first
panic.
part, for the first part of the episode. They went through like a whole thing of like safety protocol. Would it be safe and all that and like.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they realized that the best way to do it would be
Well,
to obviously just
similarly,
do it.
we
Yeah,
did another
simulation.
experiment with well, basically there was the person who like sat in a lab, and in front of him there was an actor who was on a chair, on an electric chair, and there was this doctor like talking like through a speaker and giving orders, and they had to follow the orders. Okay, and the orders were to give him an electric shock, and it started from like 10 volts, and it ranged to 500,
Yep.
and at 240 it was written unsafe, and it was red. And he gave increments of 10 volts. So for the first 5 steps, nothing happened really. They like increased, and the guy like had more itches. But then he started feeling pain, and interestingly enough, usually people continued on, and once the person got to like 240, the guy truly like felt pain. Like he acts really well usually, and he'd feel really pain and say, "Please help, stop." But the doctor would say, "No, no, continue," and many people would continue until 500 volts, until the person would like he would act unconscious and they would still shock him.
That's
Because
so
the thing
dumb.
was, the thing was, what happened is that psychologically the people wanted to obey the person because he was an authority, and they felt that he knew what he was doing.
So are they just testing out obedience? Like, to what extent will you
Yeah,
just obey a stranger?
yeah, exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
that's a bit.
And it was grim because by the end the guy literally seemed that he died, because at 500 it was written death,
Nice.
and he
Yeah.
seemed that he died, and they were like crying by the end, but we still done it.
That's.
Which
Oh,
is
it reminds me of a test
crazy.
on phantom pain. Like where there's like a laser thing and it's like tell us to stop when it hurts, and they just like shine a laser, and basically how they did it, they psychologically did something where a bunch of patients were
Magic.
waiting outside, and they all looked really sick and unwell, and like, oh, this thing
Oh.
hurts so much. So when the like the testee went into the room, and then the laser is like, okay, it's like, does it hurt? Does it hurt? And it's like, yeah, it sort of itches a bit, and then like they upped the like intensity, and it was
Yeah.
like, oh yes, this burns now, and in fact it was just phantom pains, and they just created it
Look, like
themselves.
That's just the
psychology.
placebo effect.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
placebo.
It actually is. But like psychology is really interesting because of this, because you understand better
I
how
mean,
people act,
honestly,
and from that you can act accordingly. Like
honestly,
you learn, you know what happens.
honestly, everything is in the mind, and that's what's really scary. But your brain is what's stopping you, really. Like, for
That's
example,
actually true. Yeah, you're right.
if you go for a run, let's say, and you feel exhausted, that's just your brain telling you that you're tired. You can still go on much
Yeah,
further.
yeah. Like there's people who are born without like pain receptors. It wasn't without pain receptors, but it was because like they couldn't feel
Some
pain.
people are just more resistant to that kind of stuff.
Really?
But
No,
Like
no,
what?
no.
No,
It was like a medical condition, like a rare one.
what about on a run when you like you're running and then they just stop. You don't move anymore.
if you feel knackered, you can keep going for sure.
Yeah,
I know that for a
like
fact because I've managed to do that
yeah, me too.
and just
Like
not
if you
stop.
feel really, especially when it's the last ones, especially if you're like on the last 2 kilometers or something. you can drive yourself forward.
It's all in the mind.
But yeah, like they did other experiments where they told a girl that I don't remember that that all the boys in the class liked her, and at first she was like plain looking. She didn't consider herself pretty and anything, but we put her in an environment where everybody said that she was pretty, so she changed accordingly, thinking that she was pretty, and by the end of the year, like in the class, she was the most popular girl, and everybody had a proper crush on her.
Mad. That's kind of
I
mad.
mean,
Can,
you see?
can,
I mean,
can something
some
like that
things-
happen to someone at our school? I'd appreciate
oh, that'd
that.
be funny. Like that'd be really interesting.
I'd appreciate that.
Someone cough cough Jan, cough
Oh.
cough Jacques.
What?
Yeah, no, we're just saying that if we called you pretty for a whole year, everyone in the school would have a crush on you.
You think?
Yeah,
According to
Yeah.
Gab, yes. I
that would
think
that would
no,
actually happen.
because I'm
I
not
think,
I'd say,
I
but, like,
think,
gay,
I
but
think they
If
just
a
call you
person
gay.
doesn't know, no,
Yeah, I
not
know.
me, but like if a girl like Jacques calls you like, oh, you're really well today. You dressed nice, and like not only one person, but like 10 different.
No, I feel like
And you're not conscious of it.
teenage psychology would just be like,
You'd feel better for sure.
Yeah.
You'd
I'd
feel
feel
the
better. I'd feel
compliment.
better about myself, obviously, but other
Oh,
people would
if
just be
it's
like,
every
oh,
day.
she's got a crush on you, definitely. That's how it would like.
Yes, but if
That's
it's
how
10 different people, that doesn't mean that that person has a crush on you. That means that you are the cause of this. You see what I mean?
I would
and
feel
if it's
great.
constant
I would feel
too.
great about myself if that happened.
That's what I mean. And you would, if you'd feel great, you'd also change because you'd be like more confident when you talk or when you
Yeah,
speak, and people
that's
would
true.
hear you more.
You know what, Gab? You're a great person. You're a great friend.
We're just gonna do it secretly now. That'd be actually
honestly
really
though,
fun.
what
Yeah,
I
let's
find,
just compliment. Let's just compliment each other more.
yeah, but we should just do that anyway. We should just
That's right.
compliment everyone as much as we possibly can, within reason,
like-
obviously.
We're just gonna
Keeping it
turn up.
honest.
We're just gonna turn up tomorrow, and then everyone, and we're just gonna be complimenting everyone.
Yeah, guys,
and they're gonna be
like,
what's
or-
happened?
Like to the listeners who listened through here, which we are like 53 minutes in. I'm not understanding how you listen to us.
Damn,
Thank you
we've
very
been-
much.
We've been going on for a while.
Do it too. Like compliment people. It's nothing. It's not.
You don't have
new
to do it
age
to
thing.
everyone, but if you say one
just-
nice thing to 3 people every day,
People appreciate it. Like just picture
you can make someone
if someone
say.
would do that to you. Yeah, it would make my day.
I would,
Exactly.
that like, do you just remember compliments like from really far back? Just like
Yeah.
they're just attached
Yeah.
to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine you say for the viewers. Just imagine you say something to someone and they remember it for their whole life.
But
Yeah,
but
and you had an actual impact on how they act
Yeah.
because they had a better day that day,
but on
and
but
you can do it with other people.
but if you're gonna do that, don't state the obvious.
Yeah, of course.
Because-
you're not gonna say, "Oh, you're really pretty."
No. What I mean by the obvious
It has-
is
That is so shallow.
no.
I know, that's
What
what I
I
mean.
mean by the obvious is
That's the most shallow. Like,
no. What I mean by the obvious is every other day, someone for some reason says that I'm smart or whatever, and it's like
Oh yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard this 1,000 times
Me too.
already.
Like
yeah.
I don't
What's the
need
point
it
of that?
another time. Tell me something new.
we are confident enough on our skills in science.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's
Also, if people wouldn't say that, I would still be confident.
if you're
Do
gonna
you know
compliment
what
someone,
really brings?
if you're gonna
Yeah.
compliment someone, keep it honest, but make it on something that they're not too confident about.
Or they're not expecting, especially.
Yeah,
They're
something
not- they shouldn't
unexpected.
expect that.
Where that they're not too confident about, and it just makes all the difference, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes me feel really good? Being around dumber people.
Well,
Yeah, that's
how'd
really
you
rare
say
for
it?
Jack, actually.
With you two,
Oh, Jan destroyed you.
With you two,
High five.
with you two, I'm just like, this is pretty normal.
When,
like,
well, no,
meh.
Jack, you're smart
When
in
I'm with
different
other-
ways.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
when I'm with when I'm with some like some, I don't know, some kids from another school, for example, I just feel great. I'm just like, I'm a genius.
Well, yes,
But
but
Jack-
having like people who are like smart with like talking with, it's actually better because it's more entertaining. I'd feel bored if I talk with stupid people. Like,
Oh, I
every
just
day.
hate talking to stupid people. They're such a pain. They're so
What do
thick.
you mean? It's super entertaining. They're
No.
What do
super
you mean?
thick.
And let's define stupid. I define stupid
Okay.
as
Ignorance.
someone who doesn't want to
Okay,
know.
Exactly.
No, ignorant
Someone
is
who's afraid
something.
of knowledge.
Exactly.
Wait,
like,
wait,
we're all ignorant. However, if you choose to be ignorant, that's what I don't like.
Yeah.
There's
Yes,
but
Jack?
there's also like two kinds of intelligence. Like there's like IQ intelligence where it'd be like your inner kind of learning capacity kind of thing where you can become better. And there's like
And there's memory
what
test
you've learned.
intelligence.
Yeah, that when there's your like
No, well,
Just
learn
I'd say
like what
there's
you've learned.
three. I'd say it's three types of intelligence.
Okay, what's the third?
Which would be
What's the third
raw
one?
intelligence,
Yeah, so that's
Raw,
IQ.
yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
then the ability to think and construct thoughts. Like
So that's
you'd be
kind of like problem solving.
yeah.
That's really related to IQ though.
No,
But
no,
not
no.
always,
Not
not
only
always, that's
problem,
true, actually.
not
Okay,
only
sure.
problem solving, but also like you think. I don't know. You have ideas. You develop them.
You're a creator.
You know
You're
how
a
to do it.
creator.
Yes, it's
wait,
a sort of creativity.
there's thinking quickly is a part of
It's
it.
like philosophy, but
So
it
creative
doesn't have to be that
intelligence.
hard.
Okay. So raw
Yeah.
intelligence, creative intelligence, and
Social skills, like talking to
Oh,
people,
social
knowing how
intelligence.
to
oh,
talk.
that's
with others.
really important.
Because
that's
if
really
you don't do, there's
overlooked.
like people with 200 IQ, but you never hear of them because they cannot talk with other people.
Oh, that's
And
just
we're
like
just-
in the social network.
God damn it, Chad.
That one, that for those who haven't seen the social network, it's about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. The opening scene is literally him being too smart for his girlfriend, so she dumps him pretty much. She can't keep up with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's
that's what I
not
mean.
fun.
And like he could have just been normal, for example. Like he could have talked slowly. He could have been he could have been more aware, but he's not.
He didn't have the social intelligence capacity
Exactly, which
to
is
understand.
which I find really important because the
that he's being a
ability to
dickhead.
drive people, to like show them your way of thinking or whatever, it's essential.
Well, it doesn't really matter because Mark Zuckerberg is a robot. So
I feel like you can get a. Could you get away without social intelligence though?
Could you?
I feel like you could,
don't think
but
so.
not
Well,
forever.
I mean, what do you mean
Exactly.
get
Because
away? What do you
introverts
mean
get away with it.
Yes, but like introverts, for example, let's take an
I mean-
introvert. Usually, animators are introverts. Like they admit it. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Or even PewDiePie, he was an introvert, but he
Yeah.
opened himself to the internet, and he was more than willing to
Well,
talk.
I mean, having
That's
100 million subscribers should really give you a confidence boost, in my opinion.
Mate,
But-
even
yeah, but-
honestly, even 100 is a huge confidence boost.
Exactly.
It literally
Yeah.
means
Even
100
having
people
10 views.
bothered
Okay, not 10 views, but
to just
Listen.
check
to
you out
Exactly.
and appreciated you to some
yeah,
degree.
that's really, really cool. I mean,
100 people.
Yeah, even 100.
you know
man.
how many are there?
I don't have 100
There's
friends.
a lot.
I
Yeah,
know,
we
obviously
do not.
more than 100 people, but like,
Loser.
No, like we know 100 people, but we're not friends with 100 people. We're friends with what 10, 20 maximum.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I'd say I'd call about
I think
30,
over
40.
time-
I'd say I'd call
I
about
think-
40 people my friends, but
yeah, but how many of them are like still like how many
but
of them do
close
you
friends,
still talk to?
close friends,
Yeah, like close.
close friends. Honestly, maximum 5, like 5, 10
Five.
even.
Yeah, he's right. I'd say
Well, because there's a
Five.
difference
Four.
between having a deep conversation with someone
exactly.
and just playing video games with them every other day.
exactly
That's not
That's
what
what
I'd
I mean.
call a close friend.
having a
That's
friend,
fair enough.
having a close friend. That's literally
Yeah.
what I define it.
So I'd say
having
max 5.
good conversation, like mature ones. When you
Are
can
we
have
close
mature ones
friends?
and immature ones at the same time, and there's no problem about it.
Yeah, but that's
why I
just
call it
being
a
with the
friend.
lads. You can just say what you want and
Oh,
nobody
yes, the
cares.
lads.
No. But like you can go really deep, and there's nothing that happens. It's normal. You can be whatever you want. The other person is like, yeah, it's normal because you're
Yeah,
my
the
friend.
lads.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can still say something, and your friend looks at you weirdly, like.
Yes, but it's
Oh, I
fine
get
because
that
he
all
knows
the
it's your
time,
friend.
and it's like,
That's actually
No,
funny.
no. I think you're the only one that notices, and that's.
No,
how it
I
is.
actually do.
Like
Me too.
I don't notice. I'm probably so like involved in myself that I don't notice other people being in a situation like, I'm a bit fucked. Like, you know, in your own mind, you're just screaming in your own mind like, oh my god, I'm such a retard.
Oh
Like
yeah, that
other
actually
people
I
happens to
rarely
me
other
get that
quite
people
though.
don't
often.
notice that.
I rarely
I
get
don't
that.
actually
notice that.
get
I
that
rarely get that.
when people don't understand what I'm
You
saying.
rarely get that.
I actually do. I actually get that when like people don't understand what I'm saying, so I just
Yeah, but
give
but
up.
that's different for you though. That's because English isn't your first language.
It's fine.
So you
I
have to.
mean,
I don't know.
it's
It's not
no,
as
that's me.
natural for you.
It is not natural, but still
Actually, no. At this point, I think it's. Is it starting to be natural? Like what
a
What
bit.
language do you
Not
think
really.
in?
In Italian, French, and English.
But
Which one do
why?
you mainly think in?
Why
Why?
French? I
Like
don't know.
let's say at school.
At
Let's say you're
school,
thinking
it
about.
depends by
Okay, no. How about this? You're solving a
Even in
maths
it
France,
problem.
I
depends by
think
situation. Like I switch between Italian and English.
Okay, Gab.
Like constantly.
I always think in English.
Yeah, same.
I switch between them.
Okay, Gab.
Because
Gab. Let's say
yeah,
you're solving a maths problem in your exam. What language do you think in?
in my
You're
exam,
in
English.
Numbers.
But if
English.
it's
Numbers.
Okay.
a
I think
math
in
problem,
numbers.
just a general math problem, which is like hard because I usually sometimes do
If
them,
it's just numbers,
I'd
you're
think in
really
both.
deep into the numbers.
I'd say both. It depends. I actually do both. I'm like,
I know that you get
okay,
angry in
I have to do
Italian
this.
when you do maths
Oh,
problems.
no. That's actually
Vaffanculo,
funny.
figlio di puttana!
No, okay. Like, I do the problem, and I'm like, okay, so I have to do this. Ok, e allora devo fare questo più l'altro, and that's it. That's the problem. Done.
Huh.
Boom. That's it. I just switch it.
All right. No, but honestly,
I
I
mean,
think you're getting
that's
there.
a different
Though.
way. That's a way of thinking.
I don't know. I don't
I mean,
think
I always
anyone's
think in
retarded,
English.
really.
What do you think in Yan?
I think in English, mate. Only English.
Yeah,
As
same.
You
far
never
as I
think
can
of,
remember.
like,
No
always.
other language. I don't think in any other
your
languages.
dreams. What are your dreams in language? Like, could you think of a dream where you have like a language?
English always.
Oh.
Actually, no, I don't
Oh,
usually
English.
get talking in my dreams.
Me.
Oh, yeah,
either.
I do,
Not
English.
really rarely. I have it rarely.
I can't remember the
I
last
think-
time I had a dream where I spoke or anyone spoke.
I think French.
I've
Something
seen
I mean-
writing in English.
I mean, dreams, like in dreams, lucid dreams are so cool.
I've
Like,
had
I had it
thoughts
once.
in my dreams in English.
Yeah, when you have thoughts, it's something. But I sometimes like I lucid dreams like 6 months back. I still remember
When you
it because-
process pain
No,
receptors.
no. Thing is, no. Let's not talk about pain receptors because I'm gonna talk about the dream I had last time, and no.
But what I
Let's
don't
not talk
understand
about
about
that.
lucid dreaming is
No,
how
lucid
do you
dreaming-
know
okay, so
if you're in a
basically-
lucid
Give the
dream?
definition.
No. But it's really easy.
Give the viewers
You
the
literally-
definition.
because I watched like a video on like Shane Dawson about lucid dreaming.
Because that's definitely
No, I don't.
reliable.
It was my Shane Dawson phase. Okay, don't judge.
Ugh.
And
Shane
I
Dawson
saw it,
phase?
and like at night I slept, and then I had like a dream I was at school, and suddenly I was like, wait, this is a dream, and then literally it's like waking up, like you wake up, but you're in a dream.
But
like
it's
you're alive. You're literally watching like if it was real.
but when
Well,
I
it's not.
dream, I know that I am in a dream. Just
Yeah, but like
I don't have
you do not
control over
realize
what happens.
fully. No, the thing is that you do not realize fully because if you take like a second to think about it and you're like, I'm in a dream, I can do what I want. You wake up. Like what happened to me, I literally woke up and I was like, this is cool.
Wait,
I can do what I want.
did you wake up in
And I
real
was like-
life or
No,
like, in
I
your
woke
dream?
up in the dream. It's like
unlocked
really waking up. Yeah, it was
the
like
dream.
awakening. I was like, what? I was
Gab,
like, my
Gab
senses.
opened his third mind in a
And
dream.
I literally first thing I did an anime share. I was like, room, and like it was wonderful. It was so cool. And I was like, oh, I was so hyped up.
That's pretty cool though.
And we're-
But honestly,
People next to me, and we were
Yeah.
like, what's happening? And I'm like, I'm in a dream. You're in my dream, boys. And I was literally like,
okay,
so
now
happy
guys,
about it.
I feel like
this
I've
is-
done that. I've told people, oh yeah, you guys are in a dream, and they're like, what?
guys, I think that
What are you on about, Jack?
I've got a bit of a question, right? A bit of a not really existential question, but
Yeah.
would you say that dreams are your conscious influencing your subconscious, or your subconscious influencing your conscious?
Subconscious influencing your
Yeah.
conscious.
The thing is that dreams are basically a way of remembering everything that happened in the day. It's like a recollection of memories. So that's why you find things that
There's
you
no
did
memories
in
in
the day.
my dreams, mate. Only familiar
No,
faces.
like there's small things. For example, like the other day, I saw an ad on TV about I don't remember it. It was like a medicine,
Yeah.
and in the dream there was that same medicine. They're like small details, but they came
like
from reality.
Once I saw something about Marvel in a dream, and I remember like the day before, I only thought about that like for 5 seconds
But-
or something.
Yeah, exactly. There are usually things that you wouldn't think in a dream. Like if you think it before the bedtime, you wouldn't really see it in the dream. But they're like all subconscious things you see in a day.
I mean, me once, the
Mhm.
weirdest thing that ever happened to me involving dreams was one day I was cycling with my mates, and for some reason we started talking about the movie Inception and the concept of dreams and sharing dreams.
Yeah.
And we said to each other, okay, tonight we're going to dream about each other. And what's really creepy is we both had a dream about the other person.
No, that's
That
so
actually
mad.
happened.
That's crazy. I'd like to do
It
that.
was so
I like
scary.
dream sharing. Just picture that. It's like playing on a server, but in a dream.
I woke up and I texted the guy like, you were in my dream last night. And it was like, you were in mine as well.
Oh my
Bruh.
god, that's wonderful. That's so cool.
And the thing is, it was
Yeah, I tried to do that with a friend.
It was only
kind
us
of
two.
worked.
now
Guys, you know what? Tonight we're gonna be in each other's dreams.
we're gonna record a podcast in
Fair.
a dream.
We're gonna be
Exactly.
recording a podcast in a dream. Yeah. let's do this.
Throwback when we work even in the dreams. It's not working. It's more of like having fun actually.
Time to remember your
But
dreams.
no,
Okay,
my
guys,
last
I'm going
dream
to bed
though
now.
had nothing to do with memories. It was just me playing video games on a huge TV the size of my wall in an undisclosed room. And I don't know what the video game was. It wasn't a real game.
Okay.
It was yeah. Yeah.
GTA 6.
And that's it. Yeah, no
Yeah,
start and
yeah,
no end.
exactly.
It made no sense.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
That
Guys.
You've been playing too much video games.
Yeah, I think that's a
Guys.
sign, isn't it? It's my subconscious
yeah, maybe
talking
that's a
to
bit
my
like
conscious.
the subconscious like neuron 1 stop playing video games. Neuron 2 okay, I'm gonna put it in the dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
That seems fair.
I'll play in my dreams.
Well, guys,
Hey,
guys. Sorry,
Yeah.
I think we reached our topic length, our podcast length for the day.
It's gone by too fast.
Yeah, this always goes down
Yeah.
so fast. Like,
We're sorry.
Damn.
Maybe for another day, but
I'm so
we're on an
sad.
hour and 10 minutes, and the listeners, which is you, and by this time, thank you very much for listening to us.
Mhm.
I think they had enough of this episode in particular.
Existential crisis.
mate, this
Yep,
video has been
and psychology.
This hour has been too existential.
Yep.
I think it's-
interesting.
Next
I
week
think
we're
it's
going to
been-
talk about Ep.1, the most tragic
yes!
YouTube channel
Ah,
ever created.
It's one of my favorites.
Ah,
Everybody, wait. Everybody watch Misery Was the best video on YouTube, hands down.
Oh, I'm actually joking though. I really don't want to have too much existential thoughts.
Yeah,
Too
okay.
many.
Okay,
sorry.
okay. Time for the plug. Go check out
Yep.
the website.
Yep,
Radio
where we
Rock
have
Free.
all of our podcast articles, videos from Jan. Jan?
Really? There's my videos.
No, we're gonna
Eventually.
put videos.
Eventually.
Yeah, we
Coming
projects.
soon.
All safe for work.
And-
Don't worry. Nothing too inappropriate.
yeah, hopefully. Like
No porn, yeah.
release-
Maybe in a
We've talked
couple
about
years.
this.
Oh well, we're not gonna see much.
Nice.
Well,
It's nothing to
Anyways.
see anyway.
Well, no, we'll just use a telephoto.
thank you
then.
very much for listening to us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Catch you next week on Sunday. We record on Sunday. We don't really release it. A date?
This might come out on Wednesday, Monday.
No, let's do it
next
regularly.
Sunday.
Every Thursday it's gonna be released.
Every Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, Gab, you're the one editing, so
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Just
you've just put yourself on the time.
you've given
yeah.
yourself
I
a
know.
smaller deadline than.
every Thursday we're gonna release a podcast weekly.
weekly.
So turn on notifications, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Alright then.
Bye.
Bye guys.
See ya.
How do I pause this crap? Oh.